Okay, so you've seen probably some other videos by this point, and you've probably heard me say, oh, F, C, and G are the only keys for me. Well, that is a bit of a fallacy for any decent folk musician because any decent folk musician should probably know that you can alternate almost any group of chords that are relatively harmonious in those places. So, for instance, I'm going to show you a song by George Harrison called I Got My Mind Set on You. And it wasn't actually by him, it was apparently written by a California mailman or something like that. Uh, and he wrote it, and I think he wrote it to try and get his girlfriend back. And she didn't even get with him anyway, but he sold the song, and George Harrison was the only one who wanted to record it. But it was one of his top hits of all time. So it was very odd. At any rate, it's a catchy, simple song, and it's based on a similar chord progression to F, C, and G, and the variants thereon. Only in this case, it is D, A, and E. I kept wanting to do the F, C, and G in its place. But if you listen closely, you will notice that there is the same distance between each note. If you look on a keyboard, you'll see that it's the same number of steps uh, as well. So I'll just play the chord progression F, C, G, and then D, A, E in order, and you'll see for yourself that they sound remarkably similar, but are simply have that distance, that difference of a couple of steps. Now, the D one. And there you go. And with those two chord progressions, you can play almost any song that has been ever released or written by mankind, and with possibly the addition of a few unique chords that are either sevens or minors or 11s or what have you. So I'll keep it simple and make it fun. So you simply play a very quick chord progression as you go through the song. And it starts with the chorus. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. And all you're doing there is you're sticking with the A, which is the middle of the road. It's not too high, it's not too low, it's just right. And you're just bouncing up from A to D and back. I got my mind set A, D, A, set on you. I got my mind A, E, A. And then you repeat it again. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. And you keep it going like that if you want to just continue with the chorus and practice your chords. But if you want to move on to the verse, then you can easily do that. But it's gonna take money. I'm sorry, I messed that up. That's gonna take money. A whole lot of spending money. It's gonna take plenty of money to get it right, child. It's gonna take time, a whole lot of precious time. It's gonna take patience and time to do it, 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 to do it right, right, child. Boy, is that song ever right. It takes patience and time to do the chords right. The chord progression I'm looking at on the tab music I looked up has it as EAB. That to me is a lot more difficult because if you play an A this way with your index finger on the third highest string like that, then it'll be a then put your fingers, your middle finger on the next lowest string, and your ring finger on the next highest string. Then you will not have to move your index finger in order to put together the D chord with your ring finger on the third fret of your second highest string and your middle finger on the second fret of your high E. And that's a very simple D to make. Then, when you want to make your E, you slide your index finger down one fret so that it's a slightly lower note, and then you simply hop your middle finger and ring finger up to the second frets of your second and third lowest strings. I won't bother using the names of the strings because that just might get you confused. So it's really simple. Don't worry about getting in that high note. That's not as important. That's what you call an octava. Uh, and it's literally just jumping up an octave above the above a note. Anyway, the important thing is practice your D, your A, and your E bouncing back and forth between them. And if you practice with your eyes closed, you'll hear the notes a lot clearer. And if you strum slower, you'll hear the notes individually, and you'll know that you're putting your fingers on the right frets when you play. Also, you can do this with the F, C, and G progression, and it simplifies it remarkably. And with those two progressions, you will be able to play with minor variation on most of them, almost any song in any catalog ever printed. So that is everything I have to offer you for now. Hopefully this has helped you enjoy guitar as well as music a little bit more. Bye.